Hello, and thank you so much for joining us for another BC Thermostat EPR program plan renewal consultation. This is the second of four planned consultations, with the next two coming up in the next week or so. All the same presentation, but some important information to get out there. And that won't be me. That'll be Kathleen O'Malley, Manager of Environmental Services with HRAI. She's coming up in just a moment. A couple housekeeping items. First of all, this is an interactive presentation, so if at the end you've got any questions about the program, or the draft, please put them in the chat or the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, and we will get to as many as we can. Presentation's about 25 minutes long, so we have the whole hour. We can take as many as we can, and we'll go from there. With that, I will introduce Kathleen. There she is right now. She is the one with all the information, and here we go. Hey, Kathleen.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks for the intro. Hi, everybody. Thanks for taking the time to
Leave it to
join
you.
us today. As Matthew said, my name is Kathleen O'Malley. I'm Manager of Environmental Services with HRAI, and today I'm presenting the draft BC EPR program plan for thermostats. So I will talk about the program background and overview, the products that are collected, the collection system, the communications, the program performance and targets, the pollution prevention hierarchy, and program administration. So program background and overview. So HRAI administers and has managed the thermostat recovery program since 2016 on behalf of thermostat manufacturers. Prior to that, the program was managed by Scout Environmental under Switch the Stat. So HRAI was founded in 1968 and is a non-profit national trade association servicing the HVAC industry in Canada that represents over 1,150 member companies, including manufacturers, wholesalers, and contractors. The Thermostat Recovery Program is a designated EPR program focused on recovering mercury-containing and electronic thermostats at end of life. So the TRP is fully funded by 5 thermostat manufacturers who have previously sold mercury-containing thermostats in Canada, including BC. The 5 manufacturers that fund the TRP program are Carrier, Residio, Johnson Controls, Lennox, and Emerson, which is known as Copeland. So this proposed plan covers a 5-year period from July 1st of this year to June 30th, 2030. The plan outlines objectives, targets, and commitments under the BC recycling regulation. The consultation is open for 45 days, including 4 consultation webinars. So this is the second webinar in the series. And written feedback will be accepted until March 19th. So program products. So the plan covers thermostats, which are defined as products that sense and control room temperature through communication with heating, ventilation, and air conditioning equipment, both from residential and commercial sectors. This includes mercury-containing and electronic thermostats. So the mercury-containing thermostats have an internal vessel which contains mercury in a sealed glass bulb to control the flow of electrical current. Mercury-containing thermostats can have between 1 to 4 mercury vessels. Each mercury vessel contains roughly 2.5 grams of mercury, which means a single thermostat could have up to 10 grams of mercury. Mercury is a toxic heavy metal and inhibits brain and nervous system development and can cause kidney malfunction and respiratory failure. The average lifespan of mercury-containing thermostats is approximately 25 years, and they have not been manufactured since 2008 in Canada. And then we have the electronic thermostat. So these use sensors instead of mercury switches to detect temperature levels and electronically control the flow of electrical current. These include non-programmable, programmable Wi-Fi, and smart thermostats. So the residential electronic thermostats typically have a lifespan of 12 to 15 years, while commercial thermostats can last in operation for 20 to 30 years. However, many electronic thermostats are now being replaced much more frequently, on average every 7 to 10 years, as a result of renovations replacing furnaces and other HVAC equipment. There's a rapid change in the thermostat technology today, such as the introduction of smart and Wi-Fi thermostats, which is causing thermostats to be replaced before the end of their useful life, simply because consumers are wanting the newer technology. So I'll talk about the collection system. So the collection system consists of 3 channels to collect end-of-life thermostats. The primary channel is HVAC contractors and wholesalers who remove and collect thermostats from home and businesses, and some act as drop-off locations for the general public. It is estimated that 80 to 90% of thermostats sold in BC are sold and installed by HVAC contractors and wholesalers. And then we've got the recycling depots, such as municipal and regional district recycling depots and private recycling centers that are collection points where the public can drop off their thermostats. These include landfills, transfer station, eco depots, and bottle depots. This channel provides convenient access to the program for members of the public. And then we have a consumer send back channel. And so there's an option on the TRP website to request a smaller 1.25 gallon shipping container, which is suitable for up to approximately 4 thermostats. And that includes a prepaid courier waybill to ship end-of-life thermostats directly to the recycling facility. The send-back channel is open to anyone wanting to return 1 to 4 thermostats who is unable to make it to a drop-off location. And this channel will continue to be used, although we've had low uptake. Only 3 consumers in BC have utilized this collection channel, collecting a total of 7 mercury-containing thermostats. And our collection partners. So this just talks about the participant types in BC. So collection partners consists of 199 contractors, 93 wholesalers. We've got 53 municipal and regional district depots, 33 recycling centers, which are typically private recycling centers, and then the 3 consumer send back. So 77% of all of these participants are HVAC contractors and wholesalers. 60% of wholesalers are drop-off locations for the public, while 33% of the contractors are drop-off locations. Recycling depots and centers are value method of collection, accounting for approximately 23% of all our collection participants. We're also working with First Nations Recycling Initiative, the FNRA, and have identified 10 communities with demolition slated for 2025 and 2026, and we'll send out collection pails will be sent to these communities. TRP collection points are currently present in 27 of British Columbia's regional districts. And the region in which TRP does not yet have a collection location is the Central Coast region. And then the collection process. So upon online registration, the program materials are delivered to participants, or the collection points. And the program materials include, so they get the 5-gallon collection pail, which is UN approved for storing and transporting the thermostats, TRP information and instructions, including accepted, non-accepted list, a drop-off location poster, and then each pail comes with the prepaid return courier waybill. And then the participants collect and safely store the thermostats in the assigned TRP collection pail, and then the participants return the full pails to Avitas that gets shipped directly to Avitas, our recycling facility, which is located in Ontario, and they use the prepaid Purolator return waybill. Then the thermostats are sorted, counted, and dismantled at Avitas, and they send HRAI monthly detailed collection reports. And then HRAI reviews and uploads the collection reports to our database, and then we fulfill the orders for replacement pails and the return waybills. So our communication channels. So the TRP program website will continue to be one of the primary educational tools. The messaging that is used for outreach focuses on why old thermostats need to be recycled, the risks associated with the mercury, who funds the program, that the program is completely free to participate, the different collection options, and of course we've got our contact information there. We also place TRP ads in HRAI's biweekly newsletter, plus industry publications such as the HPAC magazine, Mechanical Business, and Plumbing and HVAC. And collection apps, collection calendars, and RCBC are also utilized. Thermostats are not actively marketed by most manufacturers to the general public because most TRP thermostat manufacturers sell through the wholesalers. So program performance. So over the past 5 years, the average number of mercury-containing thermostats collected was 3,137 per year, while the average number of electronic thermostats was 3,154 per year. And this chart is showing just within the last 3 years, we're starting to see an uptake of electronic thermostats collected exceeding the number of mercury-containing thermostats.
Hi, Kathleen. Very quickly, my
Yeah,
apologies. Just Brian in chat wanted to know an important question. It might apply
sure.
to everyone. Is this for Toronto? Does this apply?
No, this is
All right.
just BC. So this program plan, we're just talking about BC, no other province. So it does not include Ontario. Although TRP is a national program and we do report to RIPRA in Ontario, but this specifically is for BC only. Thanks for the question. The total, what are we talking about here? We've got the materials captured to date in BC. So the total breakdown of materials recovered in the province of BC includes, we've got 48,562 mercury-containing thermostats and almost 17,000 electronic thermostats. And what's recovered from that, so far we have 171 kilograms of mercury, 68 kilograms of glass, 1,071 kilograms of metals, and almost 2,500 kilograms of plastics, and also 4,018 total number of batteries. And program targets. So as mentioned earlier, we have 301 collection locations within BC. So with continued outreach, our target is a 3% increase in collection locations for this year, 2025 and 2026, to reach and maintain a target of 403 to 2030. So this means adding 11 new locations this year and next year to our collection system. And then target number of thermostats to be collected. So the collection targets determined for the original plan were based on research conducted in Ontario, as there was limited information available specific to BC. The data covered was adjusted on a per capita basis for BC and adjusted upward to ensure the program set ambitious collection targets. The actual collection results in BC have proven that the previous targets were impractical. So the actual collection results support the adjustment of collection targets for this 5-year plan. So the approach for setting more realistic collection targets was to take the previous 5-year actual collection average and increase it by 5% for electronic thermostats and decrease it per year by 5% for the mercury-containing thermostats. Determining the exact number of electronic thermostats sold annually in BC is challenging due to the lack of publicly available sales data. And it's also not possible to predict when mercury-containing thermostats will be complete, again, given the lack of publicly available sales data. Statistics are not available on how many mercury-containing thermostats were sold in BC, and mercury-containing thermostats have not been sold in Canada since at least 2008. So the number of mercury-containing thermostats available for collection will decline over the years. And while the number of electronic thermostats collected is going to increase, which we've started to see already. And it's estimated that by 2030, most mercury thermostats will likely be out of use due to HVAC system upgrades and energy efficiencies. And then beyond 2030, there'll probably be still be a small number of mercury-containing thermostats existing in older buildings with low retrofit rates. And then the pollution prevention hierarchy. So we've got reduce, redesign, reuse, recycle, recover, and dispose. So the reduce, redesign. So all thermostats have been redesigned, eliminating the mercury vessel and are no longer being produced or sold in Canada. The Government of Canada enforced regulations in 2015, banning the sale, manufacture, and import of all mercury-containing products into Canada, although this does exclude lamps and dental amalgam. This guarantees that mercury-containing thermostats are an obsolete program. And for reuse recycle, so HRAI does not encourage the reuse of thermostats. Many of the old thermostats contain the mercury, and this program will ensure that the mercury is properly managed once it's in our collection channels, preventing any environmental concerns. The mercury covered from thermostats are no longer processed for reuse into new product manufacturing due to the environmental concerns. And for non-mercury containing thermostats, the risk of reusing them is that they will not meet the newer technical safety specifications or allow newer HVAC systems to reach their capabilities of higher energy efficiency levels. So for this reason, responsibly recycling older thermostats and replacing them with the newer models continues to be the best practice to reduce environmental impacts. Our goal is to collect the end-of-life thermostats and ensure that the components are properly recovered and managed appropriately. And recover. So TRP does not send thermostats to waste-to-energy facilities. And the glass, metal, and plastics from the thermostat housings that are recovered are sent to landfill. And I'll talk about that in the next slide. So the products management flowchart. So the metals are recycled. They're a commodity. They have a high recycling value and are sent for recycling within Canada. The glass is sent to landfill. So the mercury is consolidated and sent to Bethlehem in the States, Bethlehem apparatus. So that where they take the glass and the mercury and they separate those two components, and the glass is crushed and sent to landfill due to quality impurities and low market demand. And then the mercury gets stabilized and then landfill. So the mercury undergoes a stabilizing treatment process, converting elementary mercury to mercury sulfide. So this renders it safe for disposal in specially engineered landfills. And once the mercury has been processed by Bethlehem, it's shipped back to Canada to Stabilex, located in Quebec, for final disposal. And Stabilex is a permitted hazardous waste disposal facility. The plastic containers, the pails, the collection pails, they're recycled. They're recycled within Canada. They have a good recycling rate, good quality plastics. And then the thermostats from the housings, the thermostat housings, are actually sent to landfill because the components are not amenable to recycling and are low quality and are deemed waste. So unfortunately, they go to landfill. And the batteries that we get through the program are recycled within Canada. And this slide shows some pictures of Avitas. We do site visits at Avitas every year. As I mentioned, they're located in Ontario. And you can just see some of the, this picture at the far left. They've got their station and they separate all the components from the thermostats. You can see the mercury thermostats. This is the glass ampule. These bulbs here have the mercury in it. So this whole bulb is sent to Bethlehem. Avitas doesn't do any, doesn't deal with that. And then this photo on the far right is just showing some of the newer thermostats getting ready to be dismantled. And then program administration. So the program is 100% fully funded by the 5 thermostat manufacturers. They pay for the full cost associated with operating the program, such as collecting, transporting, dismantling, processing, along with all other program expenses, including marketing and the cost to purchase the collection pails, which we generally purchase every 3 to 5 years, and we do a large shipment, and Avitas stores the collection pails for us, and they distribute them. The TRP does not charge or collect eco fees, and there's no cost to government and no cost to participants. And there's actually no compensation provided to program participants for collecting and storing and returning the thermostats. And the annual funding shares for the 5 manufacturers is calculated based on the individual percentage of the total number of mercury-containing thermostats collected in a year. So therefore, the individual manufacturing funding shares can fluctuate from year to year depending on how many thermostats are returned and the program yearly expenses. And then I think that's it. That's my presentation. And any questions? Happy to answer.
None at the moment. So if you want to put your question, we'll leave it open for a few minutes here. You've got a button at the bottom of your screen. It's a Q&A button. You can put it there, or you can put it in chat as well. Kathleen, I think like we did last time, we'll be sending this presentation out to the registrants. Or is there a place that they can find it? Yeah.
Well, on the HRAI YouTube page, we hadn't actually planned on sending it to the registrants, but we can do. It's
Right.
also on the TRP website as well. So
Yeah.
and if anybody wants a copy, just email me at the TRP-consultation@HRAI through the contacts here.
Yeah, and
email address.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Right now, actually, the presentation's up at the HRAI YouTube page, so you can check it out there.
Great.
And like you said, send any further questions to that phone number or email.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, while we're leaving the question open, just a heads up that we have 2 more webinars for this consultation, same presentation, but if you want to tell others to join, March 4th and March 6th, you can register for those at the HRAI event page as well. I think we're good.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Cheers.